logging in with an identity that's significantly more secure, that you have that control. But all of that is happening kind of much faster. And the challenges are, again, just trying to make sure that as that evolution is happening, at the same time we can bring existing providers on that journey so that you can have this really rich, trusted digital ecosystem. And again, I think that's part of the reason why when you look at what Hedera is doing in the the net zero world with Guardian, it's looking at real world use cases, it's solving real problems. And then part of the work that we've been doing in that area around decentralized identity is helping regulated entities be able to control who can see certain data and who can't, to be able to make sure you have that governance and trust chain. So a really good example of that is an auditor that may need to be able to audit an environment who needs access to more data, who needs to be able to prove who they are, log in, provide an audit to the service, and be able to do that and remain within the Hedera ecosystem. So there are real world applications where, you know, if you go and have a look at what's happening in the Guardian world, where those things are happening as we speak.
All right, I just took a look at the clock. We got 10 minutes for the top of the hour, so let's spice it up. Let's give the people the show that they came for. Here are some fun questions, and if anybody wants to jump up and take it, please do, because I think it's important for us to talk about the stuff that matters that people can actually relate to. So talking about interoperability, this is a big one. How in the world are we going to make sure that people aren't just, you know, siloed to their specific little blockchain, and have the ability of actually people talking to different blockchains, different technologies? Like, you know, otherwise users are just going to rely on, you know, this one platform or that one platform. Is there a way of, you know, not worrying about the specific blockchain, but instead focus on that interoperability with the IDs?
Sure. So
Yes, this is what I wanted. This didn't happen the whole time. I love when people fight over to speak. This is great. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, I'll let Misha talk in a second. I would just say that, you know, I think, you know, again, I think as we've said a few times, there's many different ways to do decentralized identity. And we talk about standards like the verifiable credential standard. It's already kind of architected so that because most of what happens in the verifiable credentials architecture is actually off-chain, and then it just goes on-chain to kind of verify certain elements. So if you, let's say, you look at the European effort around verifiable credentials, I mean, they're already kind of architected that they could support multiple chains to do that verification. Like they can go talk to, you know, they can go talk to many different chains in order to verify the credential. So I think in some cases that's already kind of being architected in. I mean, but if you talk about other decentralized identity, let's say, you know, often, we've not really talked about in this call, but often people talk about things like soul-bound tokens or non-transferable NFTs. I think there you probably get more into the issue of, we still have to work on interop and how, if you have a token on one chain, can you use that to verify your identity when operating on another chain? I think that is still a challenge that we need to work through. And sorry, go ahead, Misha.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was universal resolvers and universal registers. But there is a standard that has been created to solve exactly that problem. So if I have an identity or a DID on one chain, and you have a DID on another chain, and you issue a credential to me, I need to be able to present that credential to a verifier, and this verifier needs to be able to resolve my DID document and your DID document in order to make sure that I'm not lying to them. And that is where the universal resolver comes in. So you have this very long list. If you go to, you have to go to the Digital Identity Foundation, but there is a link to the universal resolver site, and you will see a very long list of identity methods that are what is the correct signing key? What were the correct signing keys in the past? Because you might have rotated your key since you have issued this credential to me. So I need also to have your past signing keys available. And this piece of software is usually a Docker container, so I can run it wherever I want. And it makes it really easy for an application to integrate with all the DID methods. Really easy might be an exaggeration, but it's not that hard. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, being a miner over here, Docker containers where I live day in, day out. I was like, can I run Docker for that? Can I run Docker for that? That's usually my question.
If I could just jump in on what Misha's just said, and this is a bit of a call to everyone on the call. The issue of the universal resolver is amazing, and as she said, it's designed to be as easy as possible. It's not always that easy because there are so many different DID methods, and there's some work that has been started. I think I saw the other day through the Decentralized Identity Foundation, but it might be through Trust Over IP, or through W3C, so forgive me if I've got the wrong reference, but there's some talk about rationalizing DID methods to try and make sort of that interoperability and that resolvability improved. And therefore, for all of us as a community, if we want to make sure that Hedera's DID method or Hedera's approach makes that evolution list, it's just really important that we're active across those different spaces where those decisions are being made, because we have the advantage of Hedera also appealing into the enterprise space, fixing specific problem areas such as in the net zero world. So there are lots of reasons to be able to say as a community, we want to make sure that if that list is rationalized, it also includes the way that we as a community are building our technology. So I would make that appeal to everyone to make sure that our voices are heard.
And that's so huge. I completely agree with you there. But here's a hot take that we can start to close out with. It's great to have that universal type of login, right? It's wonderful to have this kind of technology made easy by what you've built over there, Katrina. But a lot of people still don't understand digital wallets or even trust them. I mean, you're talking about corporate. That's a feat in itself there, getting somebody to adopt a digital wallet for their enterprise services, right? So do you think we're still going to continue to have these issues onboarding new users, especially if we're talking about larger corporations?
Well, our experience is slowly it's changing. We're seeing more and more, and again, as Keith has referenced, here in Europe, there will be the requirement by 2027 for all European residents and citizens to have access to a wallet to manage their identity, and the issuer verifier holder 3-party model is central to that. So that's helping to raise awareness. Our tech stack, and one of the things that we focused on over the last 18 months, is building out an API platform that would allow a bank, a telco, a government to actually put a wallet inside an existing application, and for the things where they actually have either a regulated or a fiduciary duty to make sure that they are managing that wallet and those keys in accordance with that, but that it could still communicate with that employee or that patient, keeping their health records or their employment records or their career profile or their university credentials in their own fully decentralized wallet. And for that ecosystem to be able to talk to each other. And so what we think will happen, and we see positive steps towards this is that as an employee, it won't be bring your own device, it'll be bring your own wallet. And what you may end up with is you may end up with a wallet that's being given to you by the government in Europe, the country that you live in. You may also have your own wallet that has your university credentials or is managing your tokens or your decentralized finance. And then your employer may have a wallet embedded in a device that you're using at work. And the work that we're doing behind the scenes is to try and ensure that each of those wallets can talk to each other, because there will be different levels and layers of control. But if we have that underlying interoperability, you'll be able to turn up to a new job or turn up to a hospital with your medical records and bring your wallet rather than your device and handshake into a trusted environment. So it's slow, of course. We would all like this to happen tomorrow, but what I can say positively is that we're seeing evidence towards that bring your own wallet capability happening, and we're having those conversations. There's work to do, and again, it comes back to making sure that we can as a community ensure that interoperability and those underlying building blocks are there, and that we recognise that for the foreseeable future, it's not going to be either or. We've got to kind of find a way to have that fully decentralized and that trusted custodian environment work seamlessly together.
So you're not a gambler. You're not really taking a chance. You're just building technology that they're going to need here in a couple of years. So when they see that, you're like, hey, I got it ready. Go ahead and use us.
Unfortunately, I am a gambler because I started the company a decade ago. I kind of thought, oh my God, everyone's going to need a decentralized identity. But I was very wrong. But I am happy to say that gamble has paid off because, our technology is being adopted inside trusted organizations, banks, financial institutions, into new jurisdictions and parts of the world. We've just recently been doing some work in Japan, and there's just so many exciting things that are happening in that market. So it's not happening anywhere near as fast as I would love it to. But I think I just was gambling too much a decade ago.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's paying off now. Finally, you don't look like the weird kid going, hey guys, this is really cool stuff. You should check it out. People are now looking at you going, oh, you actually knew what was going to happen. Wow, what foresight did you have,
People don't say that. Now what people say is, oh yeah, that's so obvious.
Yeah, people don't say that. They just think it. They're too embarrassed to say it out loud. That's what it is. That's what I've noticed at least. But Ed, let me go to you real quick. Anything that you need to make sure people know about, because there's always that stuff going on from, projects, events, announcements, like anything you want to make sure we get out to our listeners today?
Of course, a couple of things. So the first one is we're going to have a significant presence at Token 2049. So if you're going to be there, make sure you stop by our booth, come say hi. We're also going to have a few interviews that we'll be sharing after the fact. The other one is, even though we just wrapped an awesome month-long hackathon, we are engaging with ETH Online. So if you want to keep hacking, if you're a developer, go to ETH Online. We're sponsoring some prizes there, some bounties. So a great opportunity to get hands-on with blockchain, with Hedera, maybe to try out something in the decentralized identity space. And I would say that's the main thing going on for now. We always, we'll be back in 2 weeks again to share more about some other topics, and be sure to give us a follow on X just to stay up to date with latest news.
Beautiful. And that's if you guys go to ethglobal.com, that's where you find those events for ETH Online. I saw Katie snuck in the room. Hi, Katie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me up here, and it's been an absolutely fascinating conversation, particularly because my company is really set to revolutionize safety for all in the creative industries. And in terms of digital identity, with predominantly people in the creative industries being self-employed or freelance. I mean, look, everyone has the right to their own identity, but how is there a way to verify you are who you say you are? And independently, that's what my company Owl does. So we basically provide a digital platform specifically for the creative industry sector. But there is an onboarding process. We actually partnered with Experian, who do some of those. I'm so sorry. I'm a mum to a 6-year-old. 1 second. Hudson, please don't do that.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that, Hudson. I got a 6-year-old too, so I get it.
Oh, so I'm like, please don't do that, Bubby. Mommy, be 2 minutes, okay? We're talking about digital identities. We're talking about the digital world. Can you tell everyone what an algorithm is? Come on. It's gone shy. Sorry, he grabbed a big fat rock and like threw it on the ground. Oh my God. So yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. So Al is completely independent. We're partnering with Experian. So Experian, people might know them as doing like some credit check report over here in the UK. But they also have the absolute phenomenal ability and algorithm also to kind of do not just the verification checks of you are who you say you are by showing your documents. I mean, there's many companies out there that do that. But also, you know, instead of having to go through an entire DBS background check and everything else, that we can see like the future of tomorrow to make sure that, again, not only who you say you are, but also that you're a trustworthy, good person that is not one of the bad guys. We can't save everybody, you know, and we can't 100% protect the industry from everything, but we can do our damnedest to ensure people's safety. And then we also integrate like personal safety alarms. But digital identity, you've got questions, go on, ask.
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
so basically it boils down to that Katrina is not crazy. She was just early to the game, and this is something that people are actually needing and are looking for, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. The thing is that, well, in the creative industries, and especially like the music and movie industries, you know, when majority of people are self-employed or freelance, and so there aren't really like an HR department to report to. There's no real safety mechanisms. You don't know who you're walking into a room with. There's no checks, no nothing. And so it's really a kind of like database network, blockchain-esque kind of what. Okay, that wasn't me. I did not send a text message. It's like an independent space where if, say, for example, you're working on the movie set for, I don't know, a new Star Wars film, and you're a freelance makeup artist, and then somebody else is going to be working on that project, and they are doing the lighting. I mean, but independently contracted. They are bought on through an agency, but there is no kind of like middle ground HR person that's running any background checks or, you know, making sure that everyone's kind of above board in retrospect. So, yeah, I guess we're our own little blockchain. So you'll be able to search for one another. You're working on the same project. You've been OWL verified, but you have your kind of like digital ID and imprint there, but you own it. It's completely encrypted. I'm working with some amazing people at MDRX. I don't know if you guys have heard of Tom Grogan, but he's absolutely phenomenal. So Mishcon Dorea, which is an international law firm, have a tech division that have been building this out to make sure that it is watertight and that everybody is protected. That's amazing, Hudson. But yeah, I just think it's amazing. Sorry.
No. I think you're cool, Katie, but Hudson's actually my favorite right now. But you're.
I mean, Hudson, you're the favorite on the space. Of course, it's because you're a New York. My son's a New Yorker. He was born in Manhattan, and it's as cool as chips. It's awesome. I'll get you some water. Trying to make it volcano.
You're good, Katrina. I saw you unmuted. Are you about to say that Katie should leverage your SDK?
No, well, if we can help, that would be absolutely fantastic. But I think what Katie's giving is a really good example of where you're solving a problem for a community where own your own wallet, bring your own wallet is a fantastic use case. But one of the challenges that we have when we see a community that has that solution, they want to be able to manage that over the lifetime of their career. And we also want to make sure that, let's say, hypothetically, they're a screenwriter and they join a big studio, that all of a sudden they'll go from that world of managing their identity, their career progression, their artwork, their craft, and then they come into an environment where all of a sudden there is a HR department. And so part of the work we're doing is trying to convince those HR departments that you need to understand that you're going to have people turning up with their wallet with so much to help you de-risk your onboarding and the things that Katie's just described now, turning up with a verified ID, maybe fraud checks, background checks, all of the things that would be required, and simply the wallet that Katie's talking about, the OWL wallet, talk to the enterprise wallet for that organization. You can have that handshake in the best of both worlds. And so when you start to talk about the commercial value and the cost management, you have the trust, you have the security, you have the portability, but you can start to have a conversation where it's not either this or that. And so it's just really lovely to hear Kate talk about taking a specific community, a specific area where you have a lot of mobility around either roles, contracts, jobs. So you're onboarding and offboarding all the time, and it's a perfect example of where bring your own wallet fits. It's a really good use case, and it also means that you're helping that professional build a fantastic profile over the course of their life, but also guard something that's really, really valuable as a freelancer. So it's a fantastic use case.
Ed, I love.
Go ahead. So, I'm so sorry. I followed you, Katrina. I'm so sorry. I followed you, Katrina. I would love to speak more with you if there is an opportunity or possibility that we could collaborate in any which way, shape, or form. I'll send you my information on direct message, but I followed you, and thank you so much for your kind words.
Pleasure, Katie, and look forward to chatting offline.
Now, I was just going to say, Ed, I love having spaces with you. I'm a little disappointed to hear more from you in this one, but we might have to run one in a week's time to talk about the IDs again. There's just so much to cover. And then when you come back, in 2 weeks, we can talk about something else because we'll get everything out of the way, in mid-cycle there, just because, man, this is huge. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand until they really dive into it. I'm glad Katie, came up and gave us like an actual use case, right? Things that people are using you for right now. It's important, and then I honestly think it's going to be all around us faster than we even realize it. So taking ownership of it on your own and actually knowing how to manage it is going to be a huge thing. Not only in the future, but I'm talking about the near future. So if you get started now, you're going to be way ahead of the curve. So thanks, Ed. I appreciate you actually caring enough about the IDs to make it the topic of conversation, because it does really matter.
Hey, actually, don't be disappointed. I'm glad we got to hear from this amazing panel. We had Keith, Katrina. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear from Derek, but I'm sure there will be chances in the future to have him on, and also Mija and Katie as well. I loved all the contributions, and I do agree that I got a lot of insights from this set of speakers, and as always, great time joining these spaces to share with the community, also to hear from the community, and to hear from those people that are out there building and seeing everything unfold from the front lines.
I love it, man. Well, how do I do this? Oh yeah, this is how I do this. Well, for you guys that joined in, thank you so much. Make sure you follow these amazing speakers. Katrina up here gave us some amazing insight as to what she's working on and what her team has put together. Katie, appreciate you coming out, joining us for this space. And yeah, obviously you got to follow their account if you guys know what's good for you. But thank you all so much, and we're going to see you all again in 2 weeks' time, maybe a week, if we can talk about the IDs, because they are important. They're all around us, and the faster we adopt them, the better off we're all going to be. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you on the next space.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.